Coming to you from Galactic Womb Studios inside Casa GTO.
You are now tuned in to the podcast by creatives, for creatives, music nerds, weirdos, outcasts, misfits, and high-frequency humans.
If you are out of place in outer space, you've landed, baby. Welcome to
the Trigger Words Podcast.
Yo, peace.
Yo.
Welcome back. My name is Art Bars.
Yo, this is Creeps.
Doctor.
Let's
get it. Episode 4. What's good, Necio? How you doing?
Welcome back, y'all. I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
I'm good. By the way, that instrumental we just heard was by the homie Silencio. That was called Noche. And since we're theming everything out to be Necio today, I thought it was only fitting because it has a thong song sample. So it's very Necio. Oof, it's just Ness. But it's a very Necio vibe in the air today. The neighbors are out partying. They're having music all cranked up.
You feel it too, right? That vibe, that Necio vibe, it's been around.
I am wired, no drugs needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I think it is? I think it's this weather has just been so gosh dang good to us.
I know, it just came around out of nowhere. I've been so busy, so I hadn't been able to really keep up with the weather. But now that it hit us, it's like, damn, this is nice.
It feels nice, man. It feels nice. Sarah just did some more gardening out in the front, and it looks beautiful. We got these new beautiful cactuses. Everything's looking amazing. A lot of love going around. How was your week, man?
It's been a good week.
Get into a bunch of stuff.
Since the last time we spoke, everything has been smooth. Thank Jah.
Thank Jah Rastafari. Yo, it was a very good week. We stayed pretty busy, actually. We were recording with the homie Amalia Ortiz.
That's right, man.
She came in and did a verse for Kids Is Watching, which is going to be on the D.W.I.P.
I can't wait for that, man. I was so stoked ever since you brought up the idea to include her on it. You reached out, and I'm so glad that she was down because, dude, what she laid down sounds amazing.
Yeah, it sounds super dope. And we actually just released Like Magic 2 as a single off of the D.W.I.P. So if you haven't heard it, check out Like Magic, produced by Felipe Jr. over here, Philip Smartman, PhD, and your boy Arthur Barsworth, MC on the rhymes. Check that shit out. But what I was going to say is we released Like Magic as the single, but after we did the verse with Amalia for Kids Is Watching, we were just like, let's do another single, and then we'll drop the full project.
Yeah, man, the official single, Like Magic.
Like Magic.
I can't believe we got a song out, man. It was a lot of work, but, man, it's so worth it.
Yeah, it's out in the ether, man. Whether you like it or not, it's there.
It's there.
It's freaking there, dude. So this week, actually, I got to play with Ariel and Josh and Sarah. Shout out to them at the Dakota. It was super badass. There was a bit of a crowd. I did see a lot of the tables were full. I was just like, man, this is pretty badass, man. So shout out to all of them. Shout out to Kent for still doing this for us. We appreciate you so much, Kent. You're an amazing person to our community. And also something I did want to talk about that was just so interesting. I don't know if I've told you about this yet.
What's that?
I went over to Craw's house. Shout out to Craw. Shout out to Ariel. They live over there. I used to live with them. But he invited me over. We were hanging out. And he pulls out this little thing. This is one of those little silver things with medicine in it that you like pop. It's got the little...
Oh, yeah.
No popping of the peas, please.
Please stop the popping of the peas. Inside joke.
So anyways, he hands me these pills and he says, Art, take one. And I'm like, Craw, what are you giving me? I was like, I don't want to. He's like, no, dude, it's just take it. You're going to love it. I was like, what is this supposed to do? And he said, it's called Miracle Berry. You put the tablet in your mouth. It dissolves, and you kind of like rub it around in your gums, in your tongue, and everything. And then for the next 20 minutes, things that are bitter are gonna taste sweet. So I took the pill. I went through the process, and then he cut up a bunch of tangerines. Oh no, not tangerines. I'm sorry. He cut up some grapefruits and some lemons. And those are pretty sour, pretty bitter. They've got a very acidic taste. Oh yeah,
man, it'll give you the sour face immediately.
Gotcha bad. You know what I mean? So I took this pill, the Miracle Berry pill.
Oh, it's a pill.
It was the pill that I took.
Okay.
I took it, and then you're supposed to eat something after you have the pill. Hang on one second. Yeah. And so basically, I go, and apparently like the pill's already working. I don't feel anything like going on in my mouth. But I go and I take a bite of this grapefruit, and it just tastes like straight up candy.
Really?
It tastes like Jolly Ranchers, dude.
Wow.
It is like insane. And then he's like, dude, taste the lemon. I took a bite of that lemon, and that lemon tasted like the sweetest lemonade. It tastes like the lemonade from Chick-fil-A. Have you had that?
I haven't tried the lemonade.
That is like, it's like insanely sweet. It's like it's the comparison is like the sweet tea at Bill Miller's.
Oh, okay.
That's how sweet it is, but lemonade. You know what I mean?
Dude.
It was insane. I had that Miracle Berry experience. That was super duper crazy.
Where do I get a Miracle Berry?
Apparently Sarah ordered some plants. So you can get them in plant form, or you can get them in tablets. And she ordered some plants, so we're about to start growing some Miracle Berry hush hush. You know what I mean?
Oh, Miracle Berries. Can't wait to try that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And other than that, I honestly just want to say thank you to everybody who's still rocking with your boys. Y'all still fox with us.
That's right. Thank y'all, man.
That is a beautiful thing. I know that the guys from Bear Brass have just been showing so much support. Ryan, Leo, Craw, Hugo. And they've just been like showing so much support. And we're actually going to get them in the studio very soon for their very own episode. And we're going to get some help from the guys to throw in some music, throw in like a trombone solo from Ryan or something. But that's still in the works. So we'll cross that bridge once we get to it. But we also had someone else posting in the comments.
Yeah, man. I wanted to shout out Angel Garza.
Angel.
He posted some lyrics in the comments. One of the episodes, man, showing us he's listening. Thanks, man.
Yeah, because after all, guys, the podcast to us, as it is very important, but at least for me personally, I really love people's reactions to the songs and the skits, because that's our creative side. When we talk and we have dialogue on the podcast, it's great, and it's almost like our friends get to listen to us and hopefully make some new friends and everything, but the real thing, as Joaquin's mom would say, our don is to create, is to be musicians and to just make new sounds. And, the skits have been funny. People have been really digging them. So we want to keep going with more and more of that. So please, if you have any feedback, if you want to share with us, we do have an email set up for that. What was that email again, Felipe?
Hit us up at the email. It's triggerwordsmail@gmail.com. Triggerwordsmail, like MAIL.
Yeah.
@gmail.com. Any kind of comments, concerns, any suggestions?
Yeah, we're open to all of it.
If you don't want to go public and like post a comment for everyone to see, you can go private and hit up the email, triggerwordsmail@gmail.com.
Yeah. Just don't hold them feelings to yourself, baby girl. And you can also hit us up in the DMs on Instagram @triggerwordspod. Send all your love or your hate. Yo, man, so who's not showing love?
Who's that?
The U.S. government. What? Shocker. Surprise.
Oh, yeah. When are they ever showing love?
So they still won't release, they still haven't come to a decision with that stimulus check money, which would be much appreciated in these times. Them Donnie Bucks.
But you know what? I just I had a conversation with some friends the other night, and someone brought up a really good point that we're going to get that money. I'm pretty certain we are, because it's election year.
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Fucking Trompito has to... Trompitas has to... He's got to win votes somehow, so he's going to send that check.
Yeah. He's gonna say,
it would be a surprise to me if he did.
Yeah, it's like straight up bribe money. He's like, all right, America, listen, I'm going to send you another $1,200. You guys are gonna love it, and you're gonna love me for it. Vote Trump, make America great again.
Like, just shut your dumb ass up and give me my money.
Shut that Cheeto up. You fucking bastard. Anyways, another crazy thing that's happening since we last spoke is 19 years, 9/11.
That's right, man. Crazy. 19 years already. Where does the time go?
Yeah, dude. We were actually sharing our experiences the other day. Me, you, and Sarah. What was 9/11 for you when you were growing up? What do you remember from that day? I remember,
I was much younger. I was actually in 6th grade when 9/11 happened, 2001.
Yeah.
I'm a young little baby. I know it.
Always a little baby, though.
But I remember waking up. I was living in these apartments on the south side, San Jose apartments across from Padre Park, Mission County Park. I remember waking up in the morning. Mm-hmm. My mom, my dad, and my younger brother and me lived in the apartment. Woke up in the morning and I was putting my clothes on and I saw that the news was on. I think it was like CNN or maybe it was a local news station. It was on every news station.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I just see the headline. It's like, plane flies into tower. Mm-hmm. Like, oh shit, some idiot really accidentally flew into the tower. Damn. And then time passes by and I end up going to school and I'm in my English class, and I think it was the first class of the day in the morning. They'd had the TVs turned on in all of the classrooms. And you know how they had TVs like up in the corner, like mounted up in the classrooms? It was like the older classrooms, it was like old ass brown tube TV. Some of the newer wings had like the plasma mini TVs, but we had that old ass TV. We're still watching the news.
Spoiled bastards.
We're still watching the news, you know what I mean? And we see the second plane hit. We saw it happen.
You saw it live while you were in class.
Yeah, and we're like, oh shit.
Wow,
man. Wow, I can't believe this is happening. And that's when I realized this is not an accident. This is on purpose, obviously. Yeah. And it was funny when it happened. Not that what happened was funny, but like where I was here with the kids, we were all young kids, right? And some of my friends were like, oh man, they want to fuck with America. They want to be messing with America. We're going to go over there and show them what's up. Yeah, I hope they draft us to go to war. And then my teacher put everybody in check. And he was like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You all have not seen what people have seen on a battlefield in the war. He's like, I've been in the war. I've been out there. It's not nice. And y'all are used to seeing things on TV and it being cool, but when you're there in real life, it's not what you think it is. And everybody got quiet. It was just like, sorry, sir. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking back on it. I'm just like, thanks for checking us. Because like anybody else, any lesser person would have let us be dumbasses,
Absolutely.
What about you, man? Where were you on 9/11?
First and foremost, man, shout out to that teacher, man. Because that's fucking awesome, man. We need more teachers like that. Being stern and, providing the right information.
Yeah.
As for me, I was actually with a really dope teacher at the time too. I was in my math class. It's funny, you remember like the class you're in, the teacher, all that stuff. It's just it's a day that's like immortalized in our brains, right?
Yeah.
So I was in my English class and I just kept hearing a few kids were talking about there's a plane, the kamikaze. There's a kamikaze, there's something with the plane and a building and a kamikaze. And I was like, I don't even know what the fuck kamikaze means. I'm just like, okay, so some guy crashed the plane by accident. And then, they started talking about all this stuff. And then all of a sudden there's another plane. And they're like, oh, it's another plane. I was like, wait, okay, so the first one wasn't an accident thing because this is like for sure. Yeah. Right now we know that they are really they're really doing this on purpose. Like this is an attack.
Yeah.
And then the entire day it was just parents picking up their kids. Boop, can we have Jorge Gonzalez? So the office is going on for the day. Boop, can we have so and so? It was just constantly all day long, and I was just waiting. And my mom never came. I was like, damn, I had to ride the bus home and shit.
You're like, why did you pick me up, Mom?
Yeah. So the whole day, like, everybody was, like, in this weird mood. I remember, like, our teacher was more than anything, like, trying to, like, calm us down because everybody was, like, pretty, everybody was visibly shaken. Like, we didn't have TVs. Like, it's crazy because we talk about all of our experiences, and everybody talks about how they wheeled in the TVs and they showed it to you, and they said, "You look at what they did to us."
Yeah.
I didn't have that experience. I got on the school bus, and I remember by the time I got on the school bus, which is like what 3 o'clock, whatever. This happened at like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. I remember this kid saying, "Oh, they're saying that it was this guy named Osama." And I remember that by that day, they already knew it was Osama, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about it. Obviously, it's a hot topic. We're like, there's nothing else to talk about these planes that hit this building, and it's like a terrorist attack. Now, terrorist attack is a new trigger word, a new vocabulary that's injected into us to this day.
That's right. Actually, I think that term terrorism was coined after that.
No way. I didn't know that. Holy shit. So you see, like, and then it was just like on the news all the time. So anyway, I got home and I remember the first thing I did was turn on the TV. And as soon as I turned on the TV, it's that first plane, boom, blowing into the building. And I remember like my world just kind of like crumbled, man. I was like, is this for real? Is this real? Like, is this real life? And then you see the other one, boosh. And it was just a loop on every single channel. Anything you put it on, Cartoon Network, anything at all, music channels, everything.
Yeah.
It was just like, I forgot what the station is. It's like, it's like the NPR of like, news stations or whatever. And it was just that image. And I remember I just saw that loop for hours that day. And I remember that my fear was just accelerated. It was intense. And it's something that stays with you forever. And I was just talking with Sarah, and actually Joaquin was here earlier because you guys were rehearsing with the San Antunes.
Yeah.
And we were saying how, because we were talking about how my niece, she's kind of oblivious to 9/11. It's just like the little blurbs that she reads on her history books.
Yeah. Wow, man, I haven't even thought about it being in the history books now.
Dude,
it started when we were in school.
Dude, so trip on this, man. Those kids who don't really they're not scarred by 9/11 like we are. The thing that's gonna scar them like 9/11 is gonna be the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah.
That's gonna be their 9/11, dude.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is gonna be like, oh, do you remember we had to start wearing masks? It was crazy, It's like such a young, tender age. Because with 9/11 for us, what changed was now the government wanted to intrude into our personal lives, and they wanted to tap everything. They wanted to surveil, and everything was just like the government had control of everything, and they could watch you at any time. They could tap your phones, all that stuff.
Yeah, and they would mask it as protection.
It's
like, yo, this terrorist stuff is going on. Just let us get into your rights a little bit, and you'll be safe. That's just a simple way of putting it.
Yeah, early steps to a totalitarian government, just kind of taking away liberties, or like spying is like very Big Brother-esque, where like, they say that like your thoughts are the only place that you're truly free. Even with these microphones, I mean, damn, we're putting this for the whole wide web to hear. And what's crazy that ties into it is that Edward Snowden was just recently in the news because of a new NSA thing that got passed. You hear about that?
Yeah, man, the National Security Agency, the NSA, was pretty much put together not too long after 9/11 with the whole Homeland Security and all that going on. And that dude, Edward Snowden, he was a whistleblower because he worked for them, and he'd been in that career field for years. He knows what he's doing with that, and he was working for the federal government, NSA, and he realized that they were, pretty much violating a lot of civil liberties by tapping into citizens in the USA's privacy. Collecting data from people's cell phones, and it's just for anybody, any given time. There's a movie that he came out with. I'm not sure if you've seen it, if you've heard of it. It's called Citizen 4. And it's about him. I definitely implore you to check it out, because that was probably 7 years ago when it came out, and that's when he first came out, and talks about whenever he was working there, he shares his experiences with people in the agency that were at their desks. Even he would even say that at his own desk, he would be able to open up any window and choose any government surveillance drone in the world, and he could tap into it and watch what it's doing. So you can watch a drone in Saudi Arabia shooting down a building or civilians or people, and you could just look at that working there, and that brought up a lot of crazy feelings in him, and he was like, "Yo, this ain't right." So he outed them. He went public by
not only that, but he made it aware. It's like, by the way, you're breaking the law. Is what he was saying. It's like, this is illegal.
Yeah, he called out the government for doing illegal things, and of course they didn't like that. If you go against the U.S. government, they're gonna track you down, right? That's just how it is. It's like a big mob. You know what I mean? It's like an official mob for the whole country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In that sense.
Yeah.
But after he did that, he had to leave the country, and he got amnesty. He got amnesty in some other countries, like Japan or Russia or something. Like, he was protected for a bit. And, he's back in the U.S. now, but
is he?
Yeah, he's back in the U.S. now. I think he's back in the U.S. now. I have to double check that.
I don't think so, because he just did Joe Rogan's podcast not too long ago, and because he was talking about, I'd love to come back home.
Oh, okay. So
but he is definitely like under like a protective, like secluded, like no, very hush hush type of situation.
Yeah. So that happened 7 years ago, and it just came out just in this past week or past couple weeks that the Supreme Court ruled that the NSA's practices were in fact unconstitutional.
Boom.
So everything he talked about was true, and he's still trying to find a way to come back home and not be tried for something that he exposed that really helped out many Americans like you and me. Like, who wants their shit like that?
I mean, for everything that we post, right? That's crazy, man. And what people don't understand too is that the guy had a very comfortable life. He had a beautiful wife who he was in love with. He had a beautiful house, super steady job. He could have just shut his mouth and just ridden that straight into retirement. Yeah. And it would have been a beautiful thing. He would have had plenty of money, done whatever he wanted. Mm-hmm. But instead, he saw the greater good, and he said, "You know what? I have to speak up about this."
Not a lot of people are able to do that. A lot of people are hush-hush about things just because it's good for you only. But this guy thought about the bigger picture.
Yo, right now when the sirens were passing by, I thought that was the government coming to get us. I was like, oh my god, they work really quick. Yo, you know what else is working really quick, bro? Is this fire in the West Coast, man. It's putting in some work.
I know, man. It's terrible.
Jesus, man. It's the end of times.
I have a friend that was living and working in San Francisco, and he's always posting stuff out there. It's really, really cool stuff he's posting, like on Instagram and stuff, on his stories. Well, that day, whenever all the skies were red, he was driving down the Golden Gate Bridge, and it just looked like a scary movie. Everything was red. The sky was red, and it was like from his phone, like straight up. He was just recording his drive. He got a little clip of it, like 20 seconds. I'm like, I had to reply. I was like, man, that looks crazy. And he was like, yeah. It's really crazy out here.
It's real, man.
Things have been going crazy out there.
Man, so prayers for California and Oregon and Washington, who are the most affected right now.
Yeah.
Somebody send Meg and Cardi over there. Sorry, I saw the meme. I had to do it. I had to do it to him. Yeah, there's been a lot of really depressing stuff in the news too. Also, we lost a great figure with Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
That's right.
Unfortunately, she passed away.
RBG.
The notorious RBG. And the thing that makes it even sadder is that already there's a push, there's a fight, I should say. There's a fight for who's gonna take her seat. I'm like, man, this woman is not even, she hasn't even had her ceremony, nothing. Can we wait? Can we mourn? Can we celebrate her life first before we even, I mean, I understand it's on the agenda and I'm sure people are gonna work on it behind the scenes, but Trump's already pulling out names, and the last name you want to hear, Ted Cruz, is already in the talks for being her replacement on the seat. I'm just like,
Yeah, I saw that.
Booger eating Ted Cruz. What?
God damn it, Ted Cruz. The Zodiac Killer.
The Zodiac Killer, bro.
For real, him?
Jesus.
No, I saw that too, but apparently he said he's not down. He turned it down.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Oh, praise job.
Thank you, universe.
That is amazing news, actually. Well, I guess let's move on to something that's a little less serious and not as much of a bummer. What's good with the sports, man? Just so everybody knows, I'm not a big sports person. However, there was some crazy sports stuff that did happen, and I'm sure Felipe could explain it a whole lot better than I can. So I'm gonna sit back, drink my coffee, let you do the sports thing.
All right, here we go. Imagine this. A pandemic going on.
Welcome to Felipe's Sports Corner.
Imagine this, a pandemic going on. You're bored as hell at home. You turn on the TV, you're like, damn, no more sports. But guess what? They're back.
They're back.
Holy shit. So what's going on now is, the NBA is back. When it comes to that, sports.
We're going
to
to
NBA sports.
They're in playoff mode right now, right?
Teams right
who's
now.
left?
There are only 4 teams left. The East and the West Coast Conference Finals are happening right now.
Okay.
The Lakers are playing against the Nuggets.
Oof.
And on the East, it's the Heat and the Celtics. Personally, I would like to see.
Goodness.
I would like to see the Heat and the Nuggets because I like going for the underdogs.
And we went completely deep.
I like going for the underdogs all the time. It's just, I don't know. It's just my thing, I guess.
Because we're Spurs fans and we're the underdogs
all damn day. But it would be dope to see LeBron win a championship. I think he's fucking amazing. He's like the best
basketball player.
People always hate on him because he doesn't have as many championships as like Jordan. But if he goes to the finals, it's gonna be his 10th time there.
His 10th time in the finals?
Yeah.
How many? He's won 2 championships, right?
Yeah, 2. So not a great percentage in that aspect, but also. I just want to bring up a quick point about the NBA too.
Mm-hmm.
They've been really putting a lot of work pushing out these really positive messages about social justice. They got Black Lives Matter on the court, and then all these players got these messages on the back of their jerseys that say like freedom or love us or education reform. Like they all got something to say. All these people, I say people because they're people. They came from somewhere, and they came up from wherever they came from, and now they're professional players. All these people have been through hard times. Maybe not all of them, but a huge percentage of players in the NBA know what it's like. You know what I mean? Like you grow up in the hood and you just play basketball with your homies, and then somebody might make it out.
It's a way out for a lot of people.
And even the coaches understand that because they're a part of it, and it's a process growing up into that. Whether you start as a coach in like a YMCA league, and then you move up to middle school and move to high school, maybe you're a college coach, and then eventually you're in the NBA. So you see the struggles, and it's really, I don't know. To me, it's really weird to hear people say things like shut up and dribble. You know what I mean?
Oh my god!
And I'm like, yo, these are people. I know they're working, and I understand where people come from when they say like, I don't want politics in my sports because I'm trying to get away from that, and I have my long ass day at work. But it's like, you can't silence these people because they've been through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, most of the NBA is predominantly black. Like all the best players, I mean, historically speaking, have been black. There was a time when white people were like the really, really good ones, but that changed. So why not highlight the black community, which is so prominent in the basketball community? And who's inspired by the basketball community? The black community. You know what I mean? So you have to acknowledge there's no way they're dribbling basketballs and not thinking about all these unfortunate events that are happening. It's like, why not help? We're all upset, and I'm sure at a certain point they were just like, dude, we have like a lot of exposure. We have a very high reach. Yeah. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see them use their platform for some good like that.
Yeah.
And people out there are really negative all the time about that stuff. It's just, and I don't think they fully understand, because a lot of people are just comfortable in their homes and they see something that kind of makes them uncomfortable and they're just like, have something negative to say about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the other day I was scrolling through the feed on Facebook And sometimes I gotta read the comments every once in a while. I try to avoid it, but sometimes I'm just like, what are these dumbass people gonna say?
It's entertaining.
And I was scrolling through and I clicked on comments on an NBA post, and it was about the Lakers took a 3-1 lead in the NBA playoffs, right? And that's one more game to finish the series and go on to the next one, closer to the championship, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I'm gonna read these comments, see what people got to say. And someone's like, yeah, but they blew a 25-point lead. That's terrible. I'm like, bro, they won the game. Like, come on, man. Like, so many people are always so negative. Even when you see something good, they'll find something bad in the good. It's
Players
like,
fuck up. Players fuck up.
Yeah, it's like with people.
Oh my god. Hey, that reminds me, we just got our very first hater. So shout out to us, congrats to us, and thanks, Ugly.
You know you're doing something right when you got haters.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I'm like super proud. I couldn't be happier about it.
I love my haters.
Whatever, man. We shut them down. We shut them down like they shut down Lubies and Footruckers. What?
God damn.
God damn. Y'all sad. Sign up to y'all sad. Fred's fish fry is still alive and well with like the hardest pulse in the West Side.
Damn, dude. How are they doing it? I'm gonna go get a number 2 after this.
I guess those sandwiches must be crack.
That's like crack.
Sananto, you know the conspiracies.
Did you like any of those places, like Luby's or Frederickers?
I didn't. I didn't go to those places very often. I went a few times because they also did have them in my hometown of Laredo, Texas.
Okay.
Luby's I wasn't crazy about, but I remember Fuddruckers was a very rich man's meal for us, right? Because it was like stacked. Like you would get these incredible burgers. It was like McDonald's for like the elite, right? That's the way I saw it through my child eyes.
Yeah, it's like hell yeah.
And one of the things that I did like to do is they did have a hot cheese dispenser, like nacho cheese.
Oh.
And I would just drench my burger, eat that shit, and get constipated. It was fucking great, dude.
Worth it.
It was great. What about you? Did you fuck with any of that shit?
When I was a kid, actually, my parents would always be like, not always, but every once in a while, they'd be like, let's go to Fuddruckers. Like, they really liked it for some reason. And that's when we would go. I'd be like, yeah, it was like a treat. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go out to eat because we hardly ever went out. We'd always eat at home. Like, didn't really have too much money growing up, so it was always.
We got Lubies at home.
Yeah, it's like just beans. So,
but they just put them in like the shape of the square fish.
But I did like Luby's a lot. Luby's is pretty bomb. Pretty much everything I like there. Like square fish, I've only had it a few times. It's all right. It's not bad. I like their like chicken and their sides are pretty good. The Jello, you know the Jello.
Jello's lit, dude.
What color? What color Jello are you in my life right now?
Dude, there was a lot of people that were like really, really like disheartened by it, and like it turns out like they're not actually closing; they're like just switching like management, whatever that means. Right?
Yeah.
So I guess they're like getting ready for like a revamp. But in the time since the news broke, a lot of people misconstrued it and thought that they were just gonna be gone forever. So everybody like attacked Luby's.
Yeah.
Like just trying to get that last feeling of nostalgia before it was gone forever.
Yeah.
But actually, it was coming back. But now with even more diabetes.
Diabetes.
Be
careful out there, y'all.
Be careful out there. Yeah, so we have been enjoying a lot of time at the Dakota.
That's right.
It's still coming up. I hope you guys enjoyed the commercial that we did last time for it. And it's getting a lot bigger. Bear Brass joined up with Luis Gonzalez, Sarah Rocha, and actually, we're gonna play a gig, as in Los Nahuatlatos, me, you, and the guys. Los Nahuatlatos is gonna play a gig with Bear Brass on October the 30th. I guess it's gonna be a Halloween show. Pull up, get Necio with us. Actually, Ryan asked me to help him with Bulls on Parade.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
right.
excited for it, but I'm like scared. Y'all pray for my voice because I'm gonna try not to fucking just ruin my vocal cords.
Can't wait for that.
I've been practicing it here and there. The raps, you know, I could do the raps no problem, but some of the screaming is gonna be a little heavy. And also, if this podcast reaches you in time, Los Nahuatlatos will also be playing on October the 3rd at the Dakota Eastside Ice House, 7 to 9. That's 2 sets. Come on out, enjoy your boys. But that you definitely don't want to miss that show on October the 30th. It is going to be monstrous.
Come out with your costumes. What you got?
Yeah, it's lit. I'm gonna be. Hold on. I got this. I'm gonna be a pumpkin, but I'm gonna be like a slutty pumpkin.
Oh yeah, that's the way to go.
And I'm gonna be called Pumpkin Spice.
Oh, tis the season.
I'm so surprised I just came up with that freestyle. Yo, so actually, speaking of, we're gonna get into our song of the episode.
What song is that? Tell us.
This is going to be another one. You can only hear this single on the Trigger Words podcast, at least until the album comes out. It's gonna be fresh off of the D.W.I.P. It's actually the first song that we ever did, and this song is called Barzilla. Let's check that out. MOP hype woman crew come through to spark the fire fighting against depressive goons. It's the clenched fist raptivist waking up the imaginationless evangelist. We're on the way to catalyst, so hell we be racing, cause it was hell we was raised in. Guns blazing when survival is genetically ingrained in. It's Nathan to give you a full clip like Guru. It's still fuck you and your whole goddamn crew. Now what you wanna do, what you gonna do, huh? Two important questions that I hope you have the answer to. The music is boo-foo, your style is too foo-foo. Sacred arts in your heart with my art like it's voodoo. Discontinue the doo-doo, find something to contribute. Get up, get out, and start making moves, dude. Life put you in my way to defeat you. You're headed for self-destruction, so instead I'm gonna teach you. Blow. Oh wow, look at your man's brain spread on the ground. Bah! Oh shit, he's dead? Yeah, it's Barzilla, the three-headed gorilla. On a rampage like Rampage, projecting my race to this damn page. Terrorizing these kids like El Cucuy. Got something for you, si te crees muy, muy. So superficial, I'm super official. You can call me art, never artificial. Sexy psilocybin soldier, super soaker. Fire, water, flamethrower till the shit's over. Prendo la mecha, siente mis flechas. Destruyendo barreras, seguimos a la derecha. The three-headed gorilla. Barzilla, the three-headed gorilla, on a rampage like that. Yo,
Fire.
That was Necio.
Straight fire. Fire. Fucking Necio.
Right? I'm burning up over here. What the hell's going on here? Oi, Phil, what the hell's going on over here? I don't know what. It's just a big old fire.
Straight fire.
Straight fire, son. Yo, that is actually the very first D.W.I.P song that we ever made. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this was your first instrumental that you ever made?
Yeah, that was...
you started making beats?
That's when I first started getting into making some hip-hop beats. I was like, how does this sound? Put a little bit of this, a little bit of that, throw it in the pot, boom, boom, boom. Sounds pretty cool. Actually, I made it a long time ago, and I just had it sitting there. It's like, I don't know, some time ago. And then we went through the quarantine. I was like, hey, man, do you think that you could put some lyrics on this? You know, I was just throwing the idea out there. And I mean, what was it like for you after I asked you that?
Man, for those of you watching and listening that have worked with me in the hip hop world, know that I'm a very slow writer because I try to be very intricate and I don't like to just write a bunch of bullshit that sounds cool. Mm-hmm. And I have a stack of beats to the ceiling of guys that have sent me beats that they want me to write to. So I was like, you know what, Felipe, if you want to throw it in the queue, cool. But I heard it and I was like, you know what, this is pretty cool, but I don't know, it's missing something. But little did I know that it had too much. We just had to remove something.
Yeah.
And at the time, we were listening to a lot of West Side Gun and Griselda. And, if you're familiar, they do these really cool experimental hip hop beats. And a lot of the times they don't have drums. It's just like a loop of like a vocal sample or like strings or something like that. And then I spoke to you about it and we switched it up.
Yeah, that's right, man. We got together and, at first it had drums from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. And we were on that Griselda tip. Those dudes are killing it, man. Just want to say, shout outs. I'm a huge fan. They're killing it in the hip hop game.
Caesar just dropped the Liz.
That's right.
So everybody's just constantly dropping. And then Conway the Machine just dropped From King to God. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, and what were you saying? It's like that fine art rap?
It's like fine art rap. It's like very, it's just so hard to... Everything is so precise from like what they wear to what they say and how they say it, the beats, the presentation, everything. Even like their social media game is so strong. Mm-hmm. Like I'm trying to model myself after them so much, and then they're just like killing it in the clothing game, and they're just selling like all this super duper expensive clothes that's like really really nice, and it's just like it has really cool iconography and it's just artistic and it's just very unconventional and just very cool. But we were listening to a lot of that at the time. I mean, we still kind of are.
Yeah, man. We were going down the line on some of the albums. They've got so many, right? And we're like, man, these are some badass beats that they got. And some of these don't have drums on it.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, let me try something here. And I took the drums off of the beat.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, you feeling this? This is kind of on that fine art rap tip. And you're just like, I bet. And you ran with it.
Yeah. And it used to be a lot faster and then we slowed it down. Do you remember that? And another thing I do want to mention, some people might be wondering, hey, you said that you guys were going to do Trigger Words Originals and you guys put a D.W.I.P song, which is like a project that you and I have, but it wasn't directly involved with Sarah, but it actually was, because we actually had a really amazing night one night where the three of us stayed up drinking beers, hanging out, working on Barzilla. And we were plugging in all these samples into it. The three of us, me, you, and Sarah. So it was like early into Trigger Word stuff. We were just getting used to ourselves as a collective, as a team, you know. So that I remember that night we were just like drinking and we recorded on that little microphone. We recorded a little demo. We put in all the little sounds from the Rampage sound. We were like on YouTube looking for gun sounds. Like it was insane. It was such a fun night that night.
Yeah, man. All that stuff you hear in there on top of the vocals, it's a group effort for certain little things in there. On that one part, when you say prendo la mecha,
and
you hear the match in there. We actually recorded Sarah striking a match. Like that's our original sample. We didn't have to go online for that. And on top of that, a couple other things too, but you know, just plugging it in, like you knew where we had to go because you knew your lyrics really well. You're like, yo, we got to put this right here. Let's put this right here. And then Sarah was like, yo, let's try to put this right here. Let's put this right here. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And we just kept layering it on. And before that, you know, I was like messing with the vocals, doing like vocal layers and echoes and stuff. And then from that stemmed the idea to put the effects into.
Yeah. It was cool, man. I felt like a soldier who was like Rambo, just kind of like rapping and rapping in the name of, you know, better bars, man.
Yeah.
You know, I had some of it written already when you first approached me with it, because I was gonna work on a different project. And the guy just kind of like ghosted, and I was like, cool, I got this like really killer start to a verse. And then I was just like, when you showed it to me, I was just like, I wonder if this would fit onto this. And then it's just dun, dun, dun. MOP hype woman crew comes, and I was like, oh, it's over. I was like, it's done. And then like I finished out the rest of it at the end, and I was just like, oh, this is crazy. This is crazy right here. I showed it to Felipe. Felipe was like down.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And we had to take it from there, man. What do you remember about recording, or I should say the recording sessions? Because there was quite a few.
Yeah, I mean, well, I haven't really told anybody about our album, like how it was created, but I made all the beats on my phone on GarageBand. I'm telling you.
That's some Mad Lib shit, dude.
I'm telling you, man, this quarantine did a number on me, and it had the creative juices flowing. So I was like, yo, let's mess with this. And that was the first thing I messed with when I first got this phone, right, with GarageBand on it. And it was just an experimental thing. And came back to haunt us, because look what we got now. Man. You know, that's how it started. And I even have like this pretty decent Shure microphone that you can plug into the phone to use it. So that beefed up the quality of the vocals a little bit. But mixing it all, I was losing a lot of quality in a lot of tracks, and I was like, man, I want this to sound really good, but it's not really happening on my phone. I gotta like figure out how to export this stuff and maybe put it on a better software to get the quality we need. So we decided to hit up Anthony Aguilar.
Anthony,
shout outs, man. He's been coming through. He had his badass microphone that he just got, a Bluebird mic, and really brought your vocals out like, man, real good.
Made that shit pop, man. Absolutely. Yo, mad props to that dude, because we did have to record it like 4 different times. It was like twice when it was like at that fast tempo, and then twice at that slow tempo, and then, you know, we layered it and everything. But praise Jah, it is done. That song was a little bit of a doozy, because, you know, the rhymes are pretty fast, pretty intricate. You know, I switched stuff up and all that. All right, so great song, very necio, and that's actually the theme of this episode. We wanted to talk about our necio nights and the things that we've experienced in the music scene. Just going through the motions. We've had a lot of incredible times. In our, I would say, short time in the music industry, because you know, there's some guys that have been doing it for 10 plus years, 15, 20. Yeah. So, you know, shout outs to them, but you know, we're definitely some experienced babies in the game. So this quarantine actually got me thinking a lot about, you know, my days as a performer, and, you know, all the great times that we've had. And one time that, you know, one really necio night that was just a lot of fun was with my band Radio Tierra. We were all out there. It was great, man. We had a lot of the members from Bear Brass there. So we had Craw, we had Dan, and we had Ryan. I had Joaquin come out and play percussion for me. Why is his name escaping me right now? Mattingly. What's his first name, Sarah?
Dalton.
Sorry, Dalton. I don't know how the hell I just spaced out. Dalton Mattingly was our drummer for the night, because Paulo was still on the cruise. You know, this is before COVID. So he was still working as a seaman out on the cruise. He was drumming with the BB King thing. But it was so dope. Everybody was there, and everybody was on point. Oh, we had Anthony on vocals with us. It was amazing. And Oscar Moreno actually came out. He shot these absolutely epic photos of us that will live on forever. And this was actually also the very last Radio Tierra show.
Where was that at again?
That was at Blue Star.
Oh, that's right.
It was at Blue Star.
At Brick, right?
At Brick. Yeah, Brick. Yeah. You were there. I think you caught like the second half of it.
Yeah, I think I got out of work and I zoomed over there. I was able to catch a little bit.
Yeah, Mirame actually opened up for us, and that was, or like, I mean, they went on before us. Right? Yeah. That was super dope. They were great as well. But we had a really fun night. We sold tons of merch. I bought some cactuses because they were doing like a market. You know, like.
Oh yeah, dude. They always got cool markets there.
They always have like these. I love those events with like all these artisanal things for sale. But this guy had a whole gang of cactuses or
cacti. Damn, that's cool.
And I bought one, and it was freaking awesome. I also got interviewed for the Mesquite, which is a college newspaper, by Andrea Rangel, and she was awesome. Her and her team. It was super dope. I just felt like I was on top of the world. I got super drunk. It was super great. And then we made some new friends that night.
Yeah.
The homies Tina and Rita. Shout out to them.
Oh yeah, shout out to Tina and Rita. It was great meeting them that night. That was a lot of fun.
They were a lot of fun, man. I was surprised they were like down, because we were just like, oh, we're probably just gonna go hit up the strip, probably go dance and just hang out or whatever. And they're like, yeah, we're down. Where do we go? Send us an address. And they were like totally down to go with us. And we went out. We had Ubered, so we met them over there. And we went to Bujo, right?
Yeah, on the St. Mary's Strip, El Bujo.
We were at Bujo. We were all dancing. It was me, you, Sarah, Tina, Rita, and Anthony. Remember, Anthony was there too. And man, we were all getting down. We got a little crowd around us.
Yeah, man, that's just how it is when we go out. We get a little necio. We're having a good time. The good tunes are playing, and we start moving around, start dancing, start shaking it a little bit. And it's infectious energy every time we do that. People always kind of gravitate towards us. I know some random people just like walked up in the circle where it's like, oh, what's up? And
we
they
want to
start
be
dancing.
down. We want to be down.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, dude. It was so great, man. And we danced all night, all of us. We all left a little sweaty.
Felt a little gooder.
Man, we were
after some tequila shots.
A
little bussing, bro. It was good.
You're on the bus.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think we hit up a couple spots and we ended up finishing the night at Bujo. And then we always in those times before COVID, BC, we had to end the night with some food, right? That's like a common Necio Sananto thing.
What's the Mecca? What's the Mecca?
The Mecca. Balitos.
Tell
us about it, man. Tell us about Balitos. God. Actually, you talked about it already in the first episode.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. It's definitely, we're waiting on that sponsorship. Balitos, hit us up.
Come on now.
We'll work for Maritierra Burritos.
Come on, daddy.
Yeah, so we ended up at Balitos, man, and it's just the freaking spot. I'm telling you, first of all, BC, they were open 24 hours a day, so we would show up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
and we'd get amazing service. They have their great salsa bar. We just load up on everything. So, anyways, we're there with Tina, Rita, me, you, Sarah, and Anthony, where we get a table, and we all order some food, and we're like, oh, I'm wondering if you guys like spicy food. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was like totally all about it.
It was so funny too, because before we went, we're like, hey, what do y'all want to do? It was already like the bar's closed, and you were the one who brought up the idea. You were like, let's go to Balitos, and Rita was like, all right, I'll drive us there. Get in the car, come on. And we're like, I don't know if we'll fit. She's like, just cram in there.
Oh yeah.
And then we lapped it, and we're like cruising and jamming, and it's like a good little drive, but it's worth the drive, you know. We ended up making it over there, got the table, and they were just like, we'll be the judge. You're talking really highly of Balitos. We'll be the judge of that. We'll let you know. You know, we've had some good burritos. We had some good food, whatever.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we know burritos. We're from California.
Exactly. Yeah. We're like, all right.
Yeah. So we went down there to Balitos, and we all ordered our food and everything. And I was surprised, man. These girls were down, dude. They like really ate some really spicy salsa.
Yeah.
And I was pretty impressed. And then there was this magical moment in the night where we were all eating, we were all stuffing our faces, and Tina was talking about, we were saying, I think she was eating like barbacoa or something that has like onions and cilantro and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were passing around. It was just like, oh, does anyone like onions, or you guys don't eat onions? And she was just like, what? Who doesn't eat onions? And she was like, don't you hate a no onion ass bitch? And we all died laughing. And then Sarah's like, wait. She pulled out her phone. She was like, can you do that one more time? And we got it on video. And she's just taking this big old bite of a taco, and she's just like, don't you hate a no onion ass bitch? And ever since then, we've just been like, damn, don't you hate a no onion ass bitch? Or just like anything. It's just like, oh, don't you hate a fucking no coffee ass bitch? Or just like whatever.
Man, that's stuck.
Yeah, it's stuck. So shout out to Tina and Rita. That was a super fun Necio night. What's another cool Necio night for you? Do you have any stories or any personal experiences you want to share?
I've had too many. I've had a lot of Necio nights, but we were talking about the St. Mary's Strip. Uh-huh. It's always Necio out there. Oh God. If you're coming into San Antonio and just think COVID's not happening, right? BC, whatever. Mm-hmm. People come into town, they're like, hey man, is there something cool to do? And there's all kinds of stuff to do in San Antonio. Like, we can find anything. But the nightlife, a lot of people will direct you. None. They'll direct you straight to the St. Mary's Strip. That's you know what I mean? There's other cool spots like outside the loop, 1604, 410, like standalone spots that are okay.
Whack.
It's like, yeah, it's all right. But if you go to the Strip, man, you're going to be walking up and down, bar hopping, you run into friends. You don't know where the night's going to take you. It's always different
it's
out there.
It's the 6th Street of San Antonio.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a general fucking place to go for a Necio night.
Yeah. Shout out to all the bars on the Strip that have hired us to play music and have paid us money to do it. That has been phenomenal. The St. Mary's Strip, what's the bad things about it? Would you say about going to the St. Mary's Strip?
All kinds of bad things about
it.
Too much or not enough. Yeah, some people might shy away from the more rowdy things out there, but I welcome it. I welcome that chaos. It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know how to do it, like to find a parking spot, you don't have to pay for parking. You get drinks.
Puro pinche Uber, bro.
And yeah, man, drinks and some other things, but
shh, let's go to Fausto.
Yeah, let's go. I like going there, man. They always play some cool ass punk and metal and
You actually put me onto that spot. I had never been there before till you had taken me. And actually, you, me, Sarah, and Luis have a crew called the 1SK, the One Shot Crew.
One Shot Crew, man. Come on, let's just go. Just one shot.
The summer of 2019 was one of the most Necio on the record. We were just, man, you know what? I blame this man sitting in front of me right here, because he just has this way to just persuade you into go. Dude, it's like the equivalent of a man saying, "Oh, just the tip." Just the tip. It's gonna end in full blown penetration, bro. And that's how it was every time. We call it the One Shot Crew. We always went with the plan of taking one shot and coming right back and just being like, "Oh, we got it out of our systems. Congrats, guys, we did it."
But then here I come with the second round.
Here comes the devil. The devil.
Like, you ready for round 2?
Yeah.
You're like, what?
What? Huh? Yeah. Well, I mean, you bought a round. I'm gonna buy the next one, and then you buy the next one. You buy the next one. It's like, oh, wait. What?
You're just like, what?
Next thing you know, it's 7:00 in the morning, and I'm late for work.
Yeah. I miss it. I miss those times.
Yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was nice, but I gotta say, it's been nice to take a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, because
we were going hard for quite some time at the St. Mary's Strip, getting lit.
It's lit.
Yo, what's up with that Travis Scott meal, dude?
All I know
is you had it?
I tried it once, and they forgot my barbecue sauce. Those motherfuckers.
For the Jesús.
I was just like, whack.
Did you get the Sprite?
No.
Oh.
I asked for a Sprite and they gave me a Coke.
No.
I'm just like,
bro.
I tried to hit up Travis Scott's DMs and be like, yo, they putting your name on this right here.
Yo, so I basically got a number 3 with bacon. I'm sorry, man. I just don't see I can see okay, you want to do a thing with Travis Scott? Cool. Make it a more lit burger, not just lettuce and bacon.
Yeah, that's it. It's like the same shit, but they didn't even put a toy in it or nothing.
Throw a ghost pepper in it or something, man. Have you really experiencing life on the edge like Mr. Scott?
I think it's pretty cheap though. It's only like $6. I think it's cheaper than the number 3 itself. It's like $1 cheaper, which is kind of cool, but Yeah.
Shout out to all the Necios making their little viral videos online.
Going
to the fucking drive-thrus. You're like, yo, Cactus Jack sent me. It's lit.
Have you seen the ones where people drive up and someone's like, you know why I'm here, and then they just blast the beginning. That's rowdy, man.
Sorry, these huercos. I saw this one of these kids. They put a tarp in the in the bed of the truck and filled it up with water like a jacuzzi. I think I was the one, right? It's like, you know why we're here, and then they play sicko mode. They play sicko mode on it. You actually saw Travis Scott, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I went to see him a couple of years ago in Houston, and it was the show with Kendrick Lamar.
Oof,
man, that was
Necio
such a
overload.
dope show. It was pretty lit. But yeah, it was dope, man. It was when Travis Scott first came out with some hits. It was whenever he first came out with that song, I got those goosebumps every night, and that shit was like the major hit for him.
Yeah.
At that time, before he came out with Astroworld, right?
Yeah.
And he was performing on this big ass eagle. He was like standing on it. And he was like, yeah. I was like, damn, what the fuck? And Kendrick Lamar killed it that night too. You know, it was such a great show.
I'm peanut butter and jelly. Dude. I bet it was. Did you turn up? Did you get nice and Necio or what?
Oh yeah, I got
plenty Necio.
Got plenty Necio.
Hijo. See, that's the thing about being Necio, man. Sometimes you can turn up and you just get too Necio, and it ends up being a very bad thing. Mm-hmm. But you could also get really Necio and have it turn into a good thing. Yeah. I actually had an experience where I went to go see one of my favorite groups, the Wu-Tang Clan.
All right, Wu-Tang Clan coming at you.
So I went to go see Wu-Tang at I always confuse these. It was Majestic. Was it Majestic or Aztec? Aztec? Something like that. It was one of those two. Yeah. And I went to go see Wu-Tang, and oh my god, they're all there. Holy shit. Even like the ones that are sometimes fall back. Master Kill is there.
Oh, for real?
is there.
Method Man?
Method Man was there.
Oh, shit.
Because you said that you saw him and you saw Wu-Tang and he wasn't there?
Yeah, it was right? It was like that same week they played here, and then a few days later they played in Austin. Yeah. Found some tickets, and Method Man wasn't even there. Yeah. So I was a little bummed by that, but it was still dope. Probably not as cool as your experience though.
Man, it was insane, dude. It was so fun. I was so jazzed up, and like everybody in the crowd was lit. It was like a little bit of an older crowd, like for sure. Mm-hmm. But it was so much fun, and I just got super wasted. I had such a great time, and they mentioned that there was gonna be an after party at Paper Tiger, and like YDB was gonna be there, and supposedly Ghostface was gonna make an appearance. So we went down there and we kept drinking and we kept partying and we kept having a really good time. Yeah. And I remember as I walked in, Sarah was like, "You ready to get on stage or what?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, why not? Go tell Ghostface to let me on stage, right?" And she's just like, "Okay." And then I remember it was like turning up, everybody's on stage. I remember Ghostface was there, YDB, which is ODB's son, rest in peace, ODB. He was there, and he looks just like the guy, and he does all his verses, and you know, it's crazy. So I was there, and then I had to go to the bathroom. I had to go pee real bad. So I went to the bathroom in the middle of the show. I went to go pee. I came back, and as I'm coming back, one of the guys, YDB, was like, "Yo, anybody want to come on stage and rap?" And I like so necio, so drunk, so everything, beeline towards the stage, and I like hop up. I snatched the mic from YDB. I didn't notice, but there was a guy next to me, because there was like 5 guys on stage. There was a guy next to me who was finishing his verse. I didn't notice it. I just started rapping, and I was so jazzed up and so necio. And I started going. And he was just like, "Yo," and then the people kept tapping me, and I couldn't. And then the crowd was like egging me on. They were like, "Oh." Like, this is on video, so if anybody thinks I'm bullshitting, it's on video. And then I remember like YDB comes right next to me, and he's just looking at me. He's giving me that face of like, I'm hearing your words and I'm hearing your flow, and that shit is cool, man. Yeah. You know. And I was just like, man, I got up there being necio, and then like I saw the video, and I see the other guys on stage, and they're just like, "This fucking white boy, motherfucker." He's over here, and they were just like, "Yo, yo, yo, yo," and then like after a certain point, they just let me go, and the instrumental ran out, and I kept rapping a little bit, and then it just died out, and then I just turn around and I hand the mic to YDB, and I just get off stage, and the whole crowd's going wild, and YDB makes this face of like, "That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool, not gonna lie." Damn. And that was like my necio moment of glory.
Damn, those legendary necio nights.
Dude, I'm telling you have to channel your necio-ness for good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if not, you're gonna have a bad time. Like, I'll say one more. It's just a real quick one. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to the homie Rob. This one time we were in Austin with Los Nahualatos. You were at this show in Houston where we opened up for Los Carnales.
Mm-hmm.
And
shout out Carnales.
Carnales. Shout out to them. Shout out to Felipe. He actually signed my Timberland boot. That was awesome.
Yeah,
I showed it to him the other day when I saw him. He's like, he showed his girl. He was like, hey, look, check it out. I signed this guy's boot. He doesn't even remember shit. Well, it was that night. I was so necio and I was so turned up. And I was like having the best time ever. I met this girl. We were dancing, and we were just like, man. I was like sweaty. I was dancing with everybody. This was after the show, after we had already played. So like, people were coming up to me and just giving me jingles of energy, and I was just in the best mood. And I was pulling people into the mosh pit, and I remember I was like dancing with this girl, like slow dancing, like in the middle of a mosh pit. It was crazy, man, and we just like had a super mega blast, but. Carnales, you've been to their shows even when you were younger.
Oh, yeah.
Fights are inevitable. So, in my necio mind, I saw a fight break out. These two big guys. I saw this fight break out. And, like, they're, like, at the point where they're about to start hitting each other. And in my drunken necio mind, this is where it goes bad, I think to myself, oh, maybe I can do something to stop the fight. Let me see if I can control them. And I go up to the guy, one of the biggest guys, and I throw my hands around him and I say, hey, man, relax. And he turns around and looks at me like I'm about to kill this guy. His girlfriend walks up, or his girlfriend like runs up as I put my arms around him, and she's like, get him, fuck him up, he's trying to get you. And he's about to just turn around and start, huge guy. He was probably like 6 feet, stocky built. And I just feel somebody grab me by the shoulders and yank me to the point where like my feet are like dragging, like bouncing on the floor. I'm like, whoa, where am I going? And Rob was pulling me.
I remember being at the merch table and then him like pulling you back like that. I was like, what happened?
Yeah. And then he was just like, Arturo, don't ever do that again, man. I know that guy. That guy will fucking kill you, man. He was like, do not ever do that shit again. I was just like, Rob, I was trying to stop him. Nah, man, dude, let them fight. Let them kill each other. Don't fucking get into that shit. And I was just trying to be a hero, man.
It was Necio nights.
When Necio being Necio goes wrong.
Yes. Too many of those.
All right. So, those are just some Necio stories. I actually wanted to include a new segment into our show, a new segment called Say What? And basically what we're going to do is we're going to give you some stories that were in the news that maybe you may have heard about, maybe you didn't, but it's stuff that's so kind of crazy that you just like, yo, is this for real? And it just makes you say what? So the first one, Felipe, did you know that the Chinese government right now in 2020 is putting Muslim Uyghurs, that's what they're called, the Muslims in China, they're called Uyghurs. They're putting them in concentration camps. They're shaving their heads, and they are they're giving them like hysterectomies and doing all this crazy shit. So it's like new school Holocaust going on in China. And when I heard about it, I was like, say what? You told me about another one the other day too, right?
Yeah, man. Did you know that Donald Trump got nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize? Say what?
What
How
world
the hell
are we living in, bro? What is peaceful about that man for him to be nominated for that?
I have no idea. Like, it's like, just forget everything he ever did and just focus on this one thing. Like, what kind of pull you gotta have to do some shit like that? It's like we're living in the Twilight Zone.
Got my real life looking like the Twilight Zone, bruv. Jesus Christ. Hey, I got another one for you. Did you know that Trump knew how serious COVID was, but he didn't tell us because he didn't want to start a panic?
Say what?
Are you serious, bro?
Wow.
Don't you think it's better to be prepared for us to know what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Come on, doggy.
How could you not take into consideration that we're people and we care about this shit?
Slacking in your Mac and Donnie, just send the check, bruv.
It's ridiculous.
Send the goddamn check. Jesus Christ.
Did you know that Trumpito is also going to ban TikTok and the app WeChat from the app stores in the USA starting on Monday, September 21st? They will no longer be available on there.
Say what?
I'm just like, bro, really? Like, just because it's from China, like, what's your beef with them? I also saw that it was actually a homegirl that we just mentioned, Tina. I saw that she posted about it, and she was saying that she knows people in her family that use that WeChat app, and it's like used to translate things. You know, it's a widely used app. So if they don't have it here in America for those people, like, it's cutting off, you know, that communication, which sucks.
Yeah, I listen to this group called the Higher Brothers, which is a group of Chinese rappers, and they always talk about that WeChat stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think it might be like based in the Asian regions where they use it more, or you know, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's predominantly in the Asian nation, you know, over there in that continent over there.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Well, did you know that an ICE whistleblower just reported that there are detention centers where they're doing unwanted hysterectomies on women?
Say what?
Dog, get your filthy, dirty hands out of females' reproductive systems, bro.
Man, these fools out here always trying to delegate what women want to do with their bodies.
What? Like, who gives them any sort of right? It's like the same thing going on with the Uyghurs in China. It's just like, dude, you're playing God essentially. Like, you're doing something that's unnatural. It's like circumcisions, you know. It's like, yes, some women do need it, or they get to a certain point in their life where, like, you know, they need it for this reason or that reason, but that is not anybody's decision but that woman that's getting it.
Yeah,
that shit's crazy, bro. They should have like a lawyer for when a situation just gets so dang necio. I wonder, what would that sound like?
Have you or anyone you know been a victim of Neciothelioma? You may be entitled to compensation.
I'm Juanito Feria, the Sananto Chancla. I smack necios and necias with lawsuits that are a result of Neciothelioma.
Get away from me, necio.
I give the insurance company chanclazos and make necias and necios pay for their neciosity.
Quit touching my dick!
How many times have you been on the St. Mary's Strip and some necio shit goes down? Let Juanito Feria fight for you.
I was able to get my client the highest possible compensation after some necio doing bumps and high tones was all lit and spilled a chamoy shot all over her Balenciaga fit.
Thank you, Juanito Feria, for helping me and getting me enough money to replace my Balenciaga, and I was able to buy new Gucci's too.
Some necio ass fool was smelling keys in the bathroom, got all necio with my girlfriend, and got her pregnant. Juanito was able to get me max cash for pain and suffering. Lupe, if you're hearing this, Juanito got me some feria. Call me. We can work this out. I want to help you raise Aiden. Juanito Feria, attorney for Neciothelioma. No case is too necio for the Sananto Chancla.
If you're in San Anto and you've been exposed to Neciothelioma, I want to represent you.
I was attacked by a bunch of gabachos on Zarzamora Street, trying to be necio for the gram. They dumped all the shaved ice on me and squirted me with tamarindo syrup. They caused over 50,000 pesos in damage, but Juanito was able to get me lots of feria.
I gave those gabachos chanclazos and made them cough up the dinero.
Call Juanito Feria at 210-420-6969. Once again, that's 210-420-6969.
Se habla español. Llame ahora al 210-420-6969. De nuevo es 210-420-6969.
Please get in contact with the law offices of Juanito Feria and go ahead and file that claim for Neciothelioma.
Call my mans. Call him up.
Call our mans. This episode is actually sponsored by Juanito Feria's law firm. Man, that was a fun skit. So for those of you who don't know, the trigger word of the day is Neciothelioma. That's right. And the definition is, I'm sorry, it's a word that I made up. Actually, Felipe and I came up with it one day. We were messing around. I don't even remember exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
But I think you said something, and you said mesothelioma or something like that to that effect.
Oh, that's right.
And then I asked you, did you just say Neciothelioma? And we all started laughing and we were like, yo, that has to be a thing.
Yeah, I was like, if you or a loved one suffers from Neciothelioma, you may be entitled to compensation.
Man, that was such a long time ago, and it's just now coming to fruition, and we're doing it for something. So that's super cool. And the definition that I came up with for that is when you get down with the sickness and you get necio.
Necio, it's a magic word. Necio.
Necio. What does necio mean to you? Like what definition or what do you envision when you hear the word necio?
Well,
or necia.
To me,
or
it's
Neciex.
Neciex. Hey, we woke out here, progressives, heck. To me, it's synonymous with being rowdy. From a Texas peep, as rowdy.
As rowdy, dang. You know what's funny is when I first moved to San Antonio, I heard kids saying that, and I was like, rowdy? I'm like, what context are they using that?
Oh,
in?
yeah.
And that was just like the thing everybody said, oh, that's rowdy, you know? But as far as like more, this is a Spanish word, you know, for our non-Spanish speaking, and basically it just means that you're being like persistent, or you're just having a very nonstop attitude. It could also mean like foolish, or that you're like jumping the gun. You're going based off of incorrect information. You're just like, oh man, you're just being necio. Like you're not listening. You're being hard-headed.
Oh yeah.
You know. That's a little bit going more in depth as to what necio means, and it's just such a fun word. I feel like ever since I started jamming with Los Nahualatos, it's just always there, and then it just turned into, you know, I'm sure people would say that word all the time, but you know, it's definitely come into our vocabulary more. And sometimes when I hear the word necio, I'm triggered, and I just want to like party, and I want to encompass that necio energy.
Yeah, man. Usually whenever I'm feeling pretty good, if we're out, I've had a couple drinks, whatever, I'm just like, damn, the necio's coming out. I just want to be necio. Let's go see this band and dance on necio.
Yeah. Fucking rip off your shirt and you see the N on your chest. Necio.
Necio man.
Necio man. Damn, that would have been a good skit idea too, right? Word. Yo, so that was the episode for today. Did you want to give the folks a Netflix suggestion? You watching anything that you maybe want to break people off with that knowledge of what you're on or what you're watching?
Actually, I haven't been watching too much Netflix recently. I did just cancel my Disney Plus account.
What?
Yeah.
Sarah, me and Sarah are so bummed. Sarah's like, man, she just threw herself out the window.
So I've pretty much just been watching The Simpsons until that's done.
Until your subscription is done?
Yeah, I think I got like a week left or something.
Throwback Simpsons. Wow.
That was like the main reason I kept it, right? Mm-hmm. What about you?
You know, it's something that I've seen already, but I did just want to bring it up because it's so great. It's a great show called Patriot Act, and that is with Hassan Minhaj. He was one of the people who was on the Daily Show. He was one of the correspondents, and he's the dude that like roasted Obama at the correspondents' dinner, you know, with all the media and stuff. But he has this show, and it's like a picture like a John Oliver type of situation, or like Trevor Noah, but he talks about like some really like undercovered stories and things. Like, for example, that's where I learned about the Muslim Uyghurs. Like that is just insane what's going on over there. And he also exposed, for example, like the legal marijuana industry, how it's like super corrupt, and there's only, I think, 3 different branches that control the entire legal marijuana industry, and they all have to get like licenses from these companies, and it's just like a super crazy process. And actually, Hassan also was the first one to talk about how a pandemic was on the way, and this was like 3 or 4 months before COVID hit. And I was just like, man, that's crazy. I wonder when that pandemic's gonna hit. A few months later, there it was. So it's just such a great show, and it's so woke, it just got canceled.
Yeah, I saw that, man. That's a bummer. He was talking about some real issues that were happening, and I was a huge fan to watch that stuff. I remember watching one of the episodes where he talked about how cruise ships cause so much pollution in the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Floating cities.
Yeah, it's like you want to go on it because you watch the commercial and it looks like so much fun. And I'm sure I got friends and family who have been on one of those and really enjoyed it. But the site he talks about is just all the trash out there and like how it's basically lawless out in the ocean. Y'all should check it out if y'all haven't heard that.
You can apparently like commit murder out at sea when you're crossing certain lines, and the jurisdictions are just so tricky that no country wants to deal with it. It's just like, oh, he got murdered. The person got murdered in this area. Give it to this guy. Nah, give it to this guy. Transfer him to this line. Yeah. And you can basically get away with murder on a cruise.
It's such a crazy gray area about that because you're like in international waters. So who does that fall on?
So fellas, if you're trying to murder your wife, now's the time to do it. There's great cruise specials. Just pass that one ocean line, and she'll be gone forever, and you can sleep with your secretary or whatever.
God damn it.
God dang. Yeah. So. Great. Do you have any music suggestions, whether it's local or, I prefer if it was local so we can give some shine on our folks. But what have you been listening to, man?
I do. Yeah, I have a local music shout out I want to give to, but it's nothing current. It's actually some older music that started in San Antonio. The S.A. Chicano Brown Eyed Soul. You know what I mean? Bands like the Royal Jesters started here in San Antonio. But what I wanted to highlight was the band Sonny and the Sunliners. Sonny Ozuna?
Yeah.
He's been getting a lot of love recently from the East Coast and the West Coast. There's bands out there doing similar stuff. It's like a resurgence of the oldies sound. And right now, Big Crown Records in New York, they recently put out this compilation with a lot of bands from the East and West Coast where they cover a song from him. So it's a handful of bands that do a cover from Sonny Ozuna, Sonny and the Sunliners, and to me it's amazing to see that. It's started here where I grew up in San Antonio, and it's still live today.
Homegrown music, de manteca and everything with love from San Anto, man. I unfortunately, man, I can't hear a lot of Sonny Ozuna without getting emotional, man, because they played it at my stepfather's funeral, and every time I hear "Put Me in Jail," I'm just like, oh, here we go.
Oh man,
here we go. Yeah. I was actually out with you guys one time, and I like started bawling, dude.
Oh yeah,
because they played. I think it was Lost Project or Rat King Cole, or one of them did. They do a cover.
Oh
right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think it was Rat King Cole.
I remember they played, and I was just like, "Oh Lord!"
Yeah,
right in the feels, man. But I love it. That's amazing. That's cool. That's cool. I actually did want to shout somebody out as well. A musician. He is one of the masterminds for the band Zenobia that he actually plays with Dalton Mattingly as well. I want to highlight Jamail Shishair. This dude is just crazy talented, man. He has like all these weird contraptions. He just recently did this thing called the Hot Dog Anime, and I'm sorry I don't remember the name of the instrument that he used, but it's like this digital box, and it has these wires, and he hooked them onto hot dog weenies.
Wait, on what?
Dude, it's crazy. I'll show you the video after this. I showed it to Sarah, and she was just like, "What the fuck is even this?"
No
right?
way! Wow.
So he has these wires, and these wires like what's that instrument that like you like wave your hand and it's like
the theremin.
That thing. It's kind of like that, but you hook it onto objects, and each object has a certain frequency, has a certain thing. So he laid out like 5 weenies like a piano, and it's like
wow,
it's insane. And that dude is like constantly just everything: vocals, bass, guitar, keys, weird instruments. He has the Yui or the Ui, what is it called? Yui. That thing is just it's like an electric flute, but it doesn't. It has all these modulators on it, and this dude is just like the king of effects and synthesizers and all this stuff. So Jamail Shishair, man, that dude is doing some crazy stuff, and he's just I could see it in his videos. He's in the house and he's working on music daily.
Yeah, man, shout out to him. He's super talented. I've seen him perform with Luis Gonzalez too, and man, he rips it up on the bass. He's shredding. He's a great player.
Yeah, go follow him, man. That guy is an amazing talent, and he like edits these great videos, and everything is just like very well produced. I really suggest you guys check out that Hot Dog Anime song that he did. It's so fantastic. So I guess before we wrap up on the topic of being necio, I just have some final words for the folks. No necio deed goes unnoticed. If you're down, stay down. But know when it's time to chill, but also know when it's time to go harder. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Please, please be careful in your neciosity.
That's a new one. There we go. Yeah. That's what it's all about here, man. Creating new things.
Ja just zapped that into my brain. Nice.
Yo, man, do you have a shout out for a badass woman?
I sure do, man. I had to do it for this episode. Amalia Ortiz, if you're listening, I want to give a shout out to you because you are a badass woman. Not just because you were gracious enough to... I asked her for a poem, and she gave me a rap. She gave me like 28 bars. And I was like, man. What is going... Oh, man. I was like blown away. I was like... She spit it for me over the phone. And I was like, Amalia, I was expecting a poem. And then you hit me with this like Busta Rhymes shit. I'm like, this is incredible. But also, Amalia Ortiz is an author. She's a poet. She's been on HBO's Def Poetry Jam. She got brought up on stage by Mos Def. It's just super cool. We used to be roommates, and she used to tell me these cool stories of her time. And there's videos on YouTube of her. Look her up. She's doing Def Poetry Jam. It's amazing. She's amazing. And she just recently received the Oral Literature Award for the Canción Canibal Cabaret and Other Songs, which is a book of poetry that doubles as a script for a punk rock musical. I don't know if I think you have seen it live, right? You've seen the show. Oh, we played the same day with her on Muertos Fest, right?
That's right.
That time that we played. I've seen her a few times, but she has that book of songs and poetry. She debuted it last summer at the Guadalupe, and she also just did a video with Piñata Protest as well. They did Tejas Lindo y Querido. She did a poem. Like, this woman is on fire, bro. I am just like blown away by her, and she's just such an awesome person. We have her books. She actually credited me on one of her books because I helped her do the design for the cover. I came up with the concept, and then she passed it along to somebody who could Photoshop it and make it look a lot cleaner and stuff. Okay. So Amalia Ortiz, man, she is so awesome. Felipe, let me hear a shout out for another badass woman, bro.
Well, we mentioned this woman a little bit earlier. Can you believe, out of the 212 years of the U.S. Supreme Court, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was only the second woman to serve on that.
The second one. I heard that, man.
So sad.
Say what?
Say what? So sad that she just passed away, you know? Yeah. She was fighting for a lot of great things for women and people, you know? She really had interests in civil rights, gender equality, and she was like one of the only people to bring that to the table. You know, the Supreme Court's full of all these old ass white men who have no interest in women or anybody who is living in poverty or anything like that. Yeah. But she was fighting for that. So I'm hoping that another woman comes along and thinks about that. I know of a few women that are currently studying those things, and I have high hopes for the future.
I hope it's AOC.
She's one of them.
Oh, is she? Oh, my goodness, man. That would be incredible. Either that or president. I'm cool with either one.
Either way.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, presente. The notorious RBG. You are a badass woman, and you will continue to inspire many generations to come with your story. Shout out to all the other badass women. I think we're done, man.
I think so.
Peace.